three things last year. I told you that the statistics of the world is not being made properly available. Because of that, we still have the old mindset of developing in industrialized countries, which is wrong. And that animated graphics can make a difference. Things are changing, and today, on United Nations Statistic Division homepage, it says by 1st of May, full access to the databases. And if I could share the image with you on the screen. So three things had happened, you know. UN opened their statistic databases, you know, and we have a new version of the software up working as a beta on the net. So you don't have to download it any longer. And let me just repeat what you saw last year. The bubbles are the countries. Here you have the fertility rate, the number of children per woman, and there you have the length of life in years. This is 1950. Those were the industrialized countries. Those were developing countries. At that time, there was a we and them. There was a huge difference in the world. But then it changed. And it went on quite well. And this is what happens. You can see how China is the red big bubble. The blue there is India. And they go over all this when I try to be a little more serious this year and showing you how things really changed. And it's Africa which stands out as the problem down here, doesn't it? Large families still, and the HIV epidemic brought down the countries like this. This is more or less on what we saw last year, and this is how it will go on into the future. And I will talk on, is this possible? Because you see now, I presented statistics that doesn't exist. Because this is where we are. Will it be possible that this will happen? I cover my lifetime here, you know. I expect to live 100 years. And this is where we are today. Now, could we look here at, instead, the economic situation in the world? And I would like to show that against child survival. We'll swap the axis. Here you have child mortality. That is survival, 4 kids dying there, 200 dying there. And this is GDP per capita on this axis. And this was 2007. And if I go back in time, I've added some historical statistics. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Not so much statistics 100 years ago. Some countries still had statistics. We are looking down in the archive, and where we are down into 1820, there is only Austria and Sweden that can produce numbers. But they were down here. They had $1,000 per person per year, and they lost 1/5 of their kids before the first birthday. So this is what happens in the world. If we play the entire world, how they got slowly richer and richer, and they add statistics. Isn't it beautiful when they get statistics? You see the importance of that. And here, children don't live longer. The last century, 1870, was bad for the kids in Europe because most of the statistics is Europe. It was only by the turn of the century that more than 90% of the children survived the first year. This is India coming up with the first data from India, and this is the United States moving away here, earning more money, and we will soon see China coming up in the very far end corner here, and it moves up with Mao Zedong getting health, not getting so rich. There he died, then Deng Xiaoping brings money, it moves this way over here, and the bubbles keeps moving up there, and this is what the world looks like today. Let us have a look at the United States. We have a function here. I can tell the world, stay where you are. And I take the United States. We still want to see the background. I put them up like this, and now we go backwards. And we can see that the United States go to the right of the mainstream. They are on the money side all the time. And down in 1915, the United States was a neighbor of India, present contemporary India. That means the United States was richer, but lost more kids than India is doing today, proportionally. And look here, comparing to the Philippines of today. The Philippines of today has almost the same economy as United States during the First World War. But we have to bring United States forwards quite a while to find the same health of the United States as we have in the Philippines. About 1957 here, the health of the United States is the same as the Philippines. And this is the drama of this world, which many call globalized, is that Asia, Arabic countries, Latin America are much more ahead in being healthy, educated, having human resources than they are economically. There's a discrepancy in what's happening today in the emerging economies. There, now social benefits, social progress is going ahead of economical progress. And 1957, United States had the same economy as Chile has today. And how long do we have to bring United States to get the same health as Chile has today? I think we have to go there. We have 2001, or 2002, United States had the same health as Chile. Chile is catching up. Catching up. Within some years, Chile may have better child survival than United States. This is really a change, that you have this lag of more or less 30, 40 years difference on how the health. And behind the health is the educational level, and there's a lot of infrastructure things and general human resources are there. Now, we can take away this, and I would like to show you the rate of speed, the rate of change, how fast they've gone. And we go back to 1920. And I want to look at Japan. And I want to look at Sweden and the United States. And I'm going to stage a race here between this sort of yellowish Ford here and the red Toyota down there and the brownish Volvo. And here we go. Here we go. The Toyota has a very bad start down here, you can see. And United States Ford is going off-road there, and the Volvo is doing quite fine. This is the war. The Toyota got off track, and now Toyota is coming on the healthier side of Sweden. Can you see that? And they are taking over Sweden then, and are now healthier than Sweden. That's about where I sold the Volvo and bought the Toyota. And now we can see that the rate of change was enormous in Japan. They really catched up. And this change is gradual. We have to look over generations to understand it. And let me show you my own sort of family history. We've made these graphs here, and this is the same thing, money down there and health, you know, and this is my family. This is Sweden, 1830, when my great-great-grandma was born. Sweden was like Sierra Leone today. And this is when great-grandma was born, 1863. And Sweden was like Mozambique. And this is when my grandma was born, 1891. She took care of me as a child. So I'm not talking about statistics now. Now it's oral history in my family. That's when I believe statistics, when it's grandma-verified statistics, you know. I think it's the best way of verifying historical statistics. Sweden was like Ghana. It's interesting to see the enormous diversity within sub-Saharan Africa. I told you last year, I'll tell you again. My mother was born in Egypt, and who am I? I'm the Mexican in the family. And my daughter, she was born in Chile, and the granddaughter was born in Singapore, now the healthiest country on this earth. It bypassed Sweden about 2 to 3 years ago with better child survival. But they're very small, you know, they're so close to the hospital, we can never beat them out in these forests. But homage to Singapore. Singapore are the best ones, you know. Now, this looks also like a very good story, but it's not really that easy that it's all good story. Because I have to show you one of the other facility. We can also make the color here represent a variable. And what have I chosen here? Carbon dioxide emission, metric ton per capita. This is 1962, and United States was emitting 16 ton per person, and China was emitting 0.6, and India was emitting 0.32 ton per capita. And what happens when we moved on? Well, you see the nice story of getting richer and getting healthier, and everyone did it at the cost of emission of carbon dioxide. There is no one who has done it so far. And we don't have all the updated data any longer, because this is really hot data today. And there we are, 2001.